What's up, brother fam? Welcome back to a brand new whip review. Once again, I am back at Audi with Chapo, and today I have with me the 2022 Audi A4. And in this review, I'm going to tell you the top 5 things that you need to know about this car right here. And also, this is a premium model, so I'm going to compare just a little bit with the Premium Plus model just so you can know what to expect. So before I get started, I want to thank everybody who subscribed to the channel and helped me reach 1,000 subscribers. And if you're new, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other video that I'll post in the future, and also enjoy the other reviews that I have on the channel. Now, without further ado, let's get in the review. Let's ride. So this is the 2022 Audi A4. So looking at it right here, you can already tell that there hasn't been much changes to it yet. See, because they refreshed them recently, so they're not gonna refresh them again every year, you know. So now we're gonna take a quick walk around this. So starting here with the front. So you have LED headlamps right here. So since this is a premium model, you do not have the LED daytime running light and dynamic turn signal on it. So you would have to go to the Premium Plus or the Prestige, but you only have LED headlamps on this. So to the side right here, you have some sporty cuts right here, giving it some good character, looking sporty. And you have a radar, one on each side, pretty much, for safety features like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist. So this is what you have this for. So to the center, you have the Audi identity. You have this single frame grille right here, and it has a lot of chrome on it. You have the Quattro badge over there, and you have those little accent on the side right here to give it some flair, sportiness. And you have this sporty split at the bottom also, and all this feeds air to the radiator to cool off the radiator. So that's pretty much what you have to the front. Now let's keep going to the side. Right here you have 18-inch wheels. They can be upgraded to 19 inches, and also you have some cool rims with this chrome and also the gray on it. That is very gorgeous, and I always say that Audi rims always look nice. So to the front right here, on the front fender, you can see the body line looks like a cut going inside the car, and you can see the same thing at the back. The body line looks like a cut going inside the body of the car, and they fit the same thing on the cap for the tank as well, and that shows great design language from Audi. So in the midsection, you have sharp body lines, and besides the e-tron GT that has like some curves on it that looks very bold, every other Audi model looks sharp and aggressive with all those body lines. And you can see it on the hood as well. Those body lines show character to the car. So going lower right here, you have this sill that also serves as a skirt at the bottom of the door. So around the windows, you have chrome. This can be blacked out if you have the black optic package on the car. So the mirror cap is same color as the body, and you have some chrome on the handle as well. So surprisingly, this car is longer than a Q5. So pretty much it is 187.5 inches long. It is 72.7 inches wide and 56.2 inches tall. Now let's check the back. So to the back right here, you have a nice short trunk, and the edge of the trunk is shaped just like a Sporter. This is a cool design right here. So you have the rings right here. You have this chrome bar in the middle that pretty much link both tail lights, and you can see how the chrome bar continues inside the tail light. So it's very, very cool tail light right here. Very cool piece of design at the back right there. And you have fully LED tail lights on the car. So A4 badge over here, Quattro badge on this side right there. So going lower, so you have this sporty diffuser. You have some more chrome pieces on it. You have 2 chrome exhaust tips, and they are functional. You have 2 reflectors, one on each side. And the bumper right here, it looks sporty, but still it's a bit plasticky, I would say. But if you don't want to use your key, or if you don't have access to your key, if it's in your pocket and you're holding on to something, so you can just a small kick to the middle bumper right here, and you're gonna open the tailgate just like that. So unfortunately, the A4 doesn't have like automatic tailgate, so a button to put it. It's called a power tailgate or power trunk. So you don't have the button right here to press and bring it down automatically, but you still gotta use your muscle and bring it back down. Now let's keep going. And just like we just saw it on the trunk, we can do the same thing on all 4 doors of this car, because the car has keyless entry. So all you gotta do is place your hand behind the handle and you unlock it just like this. Now, when you get out, if you wanna lock the car, all you gotta do is tap this little sensor on the handle and you lock it. Now, let's check the interior of the car. All right, jumping in inside the A4. So pretty much the interior is pretty much what you expect from an Audi. So it's luxurious, it feels good, everything looks good, well displayed. So this is what you expect. This is the Audi quality right here. So you have all leather interiors with those seats right here. They are brown. A lot of people might not like it, but I think it's very different. Just like you get the red is very different in the cars as well. So this is pretty rare color right here. But I think the Audi designers did a good job mixing it and matching it with the inside of this car. So you have comfort seat in the car. They still have the bolsters on the side to grip you, but they're not sports seats, but they are just sports inspired. This is how they call them. So you have the stitching on it to show all the luxury on the car. See what you're paying for. And right here to the middle, to the center console, you have it on the dashboard, and you have this on the door as well. So you have this, all those pieces of wood, they are polished, they are glossed out, they're not, you cannot feel the texture of the wood. So they're all polished and feels nice, feels very cool. So it match up with the brown interior that you have. So right here you have the gear selector. It's all leather as well. It feels very grippy, very cool in your hand. And when you rest your hand on the armrest, this leather armrest right here, you can pretty much rest your hand on it. So this is also something they thought about. So you can rest your hand when you're driving. So you have extra storage right here, because before you used to have the MMI system all here, but now they replace it with this screen right here. So this is a touch screen, so everything is controlled through the screen, no buttons anymore. So you have two cup holders right there, and you have the buttons at the bottom right here for drive select. You have auto start stop. The start button is right here too, start engine button. And on top of there you have the climate control right here. You still have the old school version, the buttons, and on top you have the MMI system with the screen, this touch screen as I mentioned before. Quattro badge on the dash right here. Decent sized glove box right here. You can fit few items in there, not too much, not too much. And on the driver's side you have a multi-function steering wheel, and it has heated function. I don't know if that's necessary in Florida. Even in the winter time, I'm cooking right now. I'm cooking in the sun right here. So I don't know if it's a good thing in Florida, but maybe for the 2 days of winter that we get, it might be useful, you never know. But this is why you get this on. They should have cooled steering on the car. That would be useful. Then you have the Audi virtual cockpit right here. So you have decent sized door bends. You can put like decent sized water bottle in there, not too big. So this is how it is. And you have a sunroof. You can open the shade manually, and you can press the buttons to open the sunroof. So it's pretty cool. It's cool that you have a sunroof in this car. I like driving with a sunroof personally. So this is how it is. And underneath here you have storage. Since this is a premium model, you don't have the Audi phone box in the car, but you have USB-C connectivity for faster charging. And at last you have the volume knob on this side right here. So let's see. Now I'm gonna put the driver's seat all the way back. It's getting there. Let's see how the practicality is up front. So now I have the seat all the way back, so I can reach the brake pedal, but my leg is already, see, for the gas pedal, I can't even push it all the way down to the floor without like overreaching with my leg. So I am 6 feet tall. So if you're over 6 feet tall, you can drive this car easily. But if you're shorter, just adjust the seat however you want. You have power seat, as you can see it. You can adjust it however you want. So now we're gonna see how it is at the back. All right, so jumping at the back of the A4. So right now, as you saw before, I had the driver's seat pushed like all the way back. So let's say we have a tall driver in front of me. So if I have a tall driver in front of me, I have no leg room whatsoever. But my feet, I can slide them underneath the seat in front of me, but it's not too comfortable at all. So my knees, they're pretty much on the seat. But if I were to jump on this side, it would be a whole different story. So let's just pretend that I have a tall driver in front of me, so that's how it is. And if you have a short driver, you're gonna have tons more space. So headroom here is very decent. So I'm 6 feet. So if you're over 6 feet, I'm gonna say that your head is gonna be touching the ceiling. Even though you have this nice little curve on the roof line that pretty much lets you pretty much fit your head in there, but it's still not enough if you're over 6 feet. So this is how it is at the back of the car. And it's a small sedan, so this is what you should expect in a car like this. So if you want to carry tall people, they're not gonna be too comfortable back there over a long period of time. So, but other than that, if you're like normal size, you're like decent sized person, you're gonna have a nice time traveling about at the back of this car, and for a very long time, due to the fact that you have the same quality seats at the back. So comfort seats, you get them at the back as well. So it's a very decent car. It's a small sedan, you know, the dimensions can kill you a little bit, but it's a very decent car to get. So now let's check the boot. All right, so just like I mentioned it before, you could open the trunk using your key. So there's a trunk release button on the key. You just double click it and you open the trunk. So it's a very deep trunk right here. So you can pretty much fit a lot of items all the way in. So this is the benefit you get with a small sedan like this. So like this, the way the seats or position in the car, that leaves you tons of space at the back. So you can fit a lot of items in the car. So if I want, I can pretty much fit my entire body in there. Look, man, just like that, I disappear. There you go. There you go. Just to show you how much space you have at the back of this car. You can fit a lot. And in an A5, you can fit even more because you have a hatchback on the A5. The entire back would open to give you more accessibility, but this one, you just gotta slide everything in, and still very, very practical. And you have some nets on the side that gives you more space. So in just a second, the dimension of the back is just gonna appear right here. And there you go. Now you know how big the trunk is on this car. So it's very, very practical, I would say, at the back. Despite the little space that you get for tall people inside, but you get a lot of practicality when it comes to boot size. Now let's go back to the front to talk about the MMI system. All right, jumping back in front of the A4, so pretty much I'm gonna turn on the car or switch on the car. So it's gonna make all the starting up noises. Let's go. Here's a little more. All right, so now, talking about the MMI system in this car. So in the Premium Plus and the Prestige model, underneath the armrest, you would get the Audi front box. In the Premium model, you do not get it, which is just storage here, you do not have it. So the Audi front box is pretty much a wireless pad where you can charge your phone wirelessly, and also it serves as a signal booster using the antenna of the car to give you better service inside the car when your phone is in the box. So this is pretty much what you would get on a Premium Plus and a Prestige model. But in here, in the Premium version, it's just storage, but you still have USB-C connection right there for faster charging and also better connectivity with the MMI system, where you can have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But another thing is that you have wireless Apple CarPlay in this car, so you do not need to connect your phone to anything to have access to Apple CarPlay. I repeat, Apple CarPlay. So right here you have the volume knob, so you can turn it any direction you want to increase or decrease volume. And also a cool trick with it is that you can just push it to the side. That's a click. You can hear the click. This is how you can change your radio station, or you can change your tracks if you're using Apple CarPlay. So over here you have the climate control. So pretty much this is the old school version, and they intend to keep it. And Audi is also bringing it back in some new models because, for example, you have it in the e-tron GT, you have it in the e-tron Q4, you have it in the Audi A3, S3, and RS3. So Audi is bringing it back in some of the newer models. So in some other Audi models, you would get two screens, one for MMI, one for the climate control. But a lot of drivers prefer this right here with the buttons because it's faster and more convenient. So if I'm driving, I can just access it real quick and increase my temperature or decrease it, or just increase fan speed, whatever, you know. But with the touch screen, you have to be precise. So you have to look where you're clicking. You have to make sure you hit the right button and it's doing what you want. So it takes a bit more time, even though the Audi system is responsive, but it takes your eyes away from the streets, pretty much from the road. So now on top of the climate control, you have this 10.1-inch screen, which is the Audi MMI system. So it's a touch screen, very, very responsive and user friendly. So the icons are very big on the screen, which means whatever size finger you have, I'm pretty sure you're gonna click the right icon, that's for sure. So if I click on vehicle, you can hear this click, and this is the haptic feedback that you get, and you get the same technology on your phone as well. So this is how it is. And if you go to Audi Drive Select, for example, you're gonna see a nice render of the car, pretty cool. And this is where you get your drive modes. You can switch drive mode right here, or you can use the buttons underneath the climate control to change your drive mode using the Audi Drive Select. So you also have navigation on this. It's pretty cool right here. So on the driver's side, you have this mini version of the virtual cockpit. Still function the same way as the Audi Virtual Cockpit Plus, which you would get on the Premium Plus and the Prestige model. But here, you get the old school dials with the needles, and you have a little screen in between of them as a mini version of the Virtual Cockpit. So this is what you get. And you can operate this mini screen using the buttons on the steering wheel, because this is a multi-function steering wheel. So now, let's check the engine. All right, let's talk about the performance of this car. But first, let's see how it looks underneath the hood. So this car is powered by a 2-liter turbocharged A4 engine that can produce around 201 horsepower with 236 pound-feet of torque. And this is the premium version. So the Premium Plus and the Prestige will have 261 horsepower with 273 pound-feet of torque. So the Premium Plus and the Prestige model are more powerful than the premium version. So this is something to keep in mind. So this one is controlled by a 7-speed automatic gearbox with 4 different drive modes. So you have auto, dynamic, comfort, and individual. So the fuel efficiency in this car is about 26 miles per gallon in the city and 34 on the highway. All right, now let's see what the A4 is like to drive. So right now I'm kicking off in comfort mode. So it's not feeling like as comfortable I was expecting. Like in some Audi models, the steering wheel pretty much gets so light. Like it's very, you can say that it is comfortable. But here it still feels a bit stiff in this car, but still comfortable, I would say. The engine is pretty relaxed, so the car is just cruising along, so soaking up some of the bumps. So it's pretty comfortable to drive, but the steering wheel, I can feel the difference. It's not completely loose as it would get in some other models. So right now, going around this roundabout, and you have the Audi Quattro all-wheel drive in this car. This is what's gonna back you up in the corners, in the wet surface. So the Quattro all-wheel drive is pretty much what's gonna get you out those crazy corners in wet surfaces. So Audi is always good in the wet, so that's for sure. You cannot go wrong in an Audi on a wet surface. You cannot beat an Audi on a wet surface, that's for sure. So now I'm going to stop and put it in dynamic mode and see how the car is going to react. But you don't have a tremendous amount of power in this car, so you only have 201 horsepower, so it's still gonna do the job pretty much. And also on this car you have adaptive suspensions on this car, so it's pretty good. You have 4 independent adaptive suspension on the car, so it's a very cool thing to have in the car. Now we're gonna kick it off in dynamic mode and see how the car is going to react. $60. All right, so when I put it on dynamic, so as I was saying before, I did not feel like the difference between the comfort and the automatic mode. So on this one right here, you can definitely feel that the car is completely stiff to make it sportier. So when you put the car on dynamic, it stiffens up everything and make the car very agile around the corners. When you're accelerating, it makes the car very responsive. The throttle is responsive, everything is responsive, steering is responsive. So this car is about $45,000 and it's available at Audi West Chapel, of course. And another thing is that you have some cool safety features in the car, like adaptive cruise control. You have lane keeping assist. So this is a cool thing. So you have all your airbags, front, knee, and overhead airbags in the car. So it's very cool. You have cool safety features. You have the blind spot assist, which is a very useful thing in cars nowadays. So you have the blind spot assist on both mirrors. And you have this parking system with all the cameras. You have the sensors at the back and the front to help you park the car without hitting anything. So you have some cool features in the car for sure. So this is definitely a car to get.